This is my BTEC sport assignment for Mr. Mallett, and this is Mr. Mallett, who's the director of rugby at Millfield School. The tests I've done for the assignment are the plank for muscular endurance, the 40-meter sprint for speed, for power, the standing jump test, for
aerobic endurance.
For aerobic endurance, the 5-minute run, and then for my body composition, the skin fold caliper, and then the bench press for the muscular strength.
Yeah.
Do you feel that these muscular components and the tests are good for rugby? Are they things that
I think importantly, probably the first point to make is that rugby is a multi-dimensional game that requires a lot of different areas of fitness. There's no one predominant aspect of fitness. So, I think your fitness tests represent a good range of different fitness components, which is important. If you look at the tests and the nature of rugby, obviously speed, power, strength are all important aspects. You've covered those in the tests. Speed with the sprint test, 40 metres, perhaps is a little bit long, but you might look at shortening that depending on position.
Yeah.
The endurance for the plank is a good measure of perhaps core strength. There are other measures that you could use for muscular endurance, but that's a good sort of safe standard one. 5-minute endurance run for aerobic endurance, fine baseline measure used by the rugby union, so pretty good selection.
Yeah, so you're saying that different positions are adapted to kind of.
I think you do perhaps the same tests, but you would attach a different level of importance to the different tests depending on what position that player played in.
Okay, yes. So for a flanker, would obviously do better in an aerobic test than, let's say, a prop or.
Yeah, so it's likely the back three, the higher aerobic endurance, possibly anaerobic as well. One of the areas you haven't necessarily covered. Did you talk about did you do yo-yo tests? I'm not sure if you did.
No, I didn't think I did the yo-yo test.
That's obviously one area. It's fine on one level being able to be aerobically fit, but one of the big challenges in the modern game is to be able to repeat sprint actions and high intensity work rather than a lower intensity for a long period of time. So there's another aspect that needs to be considered.
Do you feel like I could have included any more different tests to be more specific to rugby? Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think potentially, running anaerobic test, higher intensity one. There's an RFU specific shuttle run test that you could have used specifically for rugby players. But potentially, you cover the other areas. Bench press is a fairly safe bet, but again, the more sort of modern players now are looking at full body lift, so you do something like a squat or a power clean. But again, the athlete needs to be well versed in that technique. So, probably for your selection, you've chosen 6 good tests there.
Okay.
Okay.